hell.
All right,
Tess
let's not go
Holiday
live.
crawls out of pond, takes 5 minutes. Okay.
And we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, we are live. All right, I have returned from the wastelands of the internet with my co-host Jensen and Maddie to try and keep me reined in today because we have stories from the internet. Would you like to say a few words, Jensen?
No, just wait until the final story, ladies and gentlemen. You're gonna love it.
And I apologize. I'm still dealing with a bit of a chest cold. It's getting better, but I think most people can hear that in my voice, actually. But I'm still a bit under the weather from that standpoint. But since the stories are here, let's get started, shall we?
Okie dokie.
Psycho Don! Trump deletes post that the Drudge Report declared an explicit threat to DA Alvin Bragg. So you're talking about the post that another media site declared an explicit threat. And so you're talking about another media site. Media, right?
Yeah.
The Drudge Report, Matt Drudge's right-leaning news aggregator, ran a headline on Friday declaring that former President Donald Trump threatened Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg in a Thursday Truth Social post, which Trump deleted on Friday afternoon. On Thursday, Trump shared a link with a split-screen image of him holding a bat, all right, on one side with an image of Bragg's head on the other. Drudge's headline post read, Psycho Don threatens Manhattan District Attorney, read the second line of the headline. All right, the first part of the headline linked to a New York Post article titled, Trump posts disturbing baseball bat photo with Alvin Bragg. Threatens death and destruction. All right, commentary?
Mass hysteria. So, like, you're looking at him, first of all, he's just holding the bat.
Yes.
I mean, seriously. It's not like he's holding the bat getting ready to swing at something. He's just holding the bat.
Mm-hmm. He's showing him it.
Yeah. Like, this is my bat.
For all we know, Alvin saw that bat on eBay and was actually getting in contact with Trump, showing an interest in it. Maybe he wanted to buy it. We don't know.
Well, the thing is this, and he does this crap on purpose because everybody knows that no matter what he does, the media is going to roast him for it. So asking the question, why the hell did he allow somebody to take a picture of him while he was holding a bat, is moot because this is our former shitlord in chief. He don't give a crap.
Actually, based on this, Oz has just said it in chat, but that idiot holding a severed head of Trump was okay. Well, apparently, yes, it's perfectly acceptable to show decapitated people, but not holding a bat. I mean, good God, that's it. No, completely unreasonable.
Right.
You're talking about the church if it's okay when I do it.
Exactly.
Yep, pretty much. Pretty much. I mean, it's just, but, they proved to me after he left office that what I said was right on a stream when I used to cover the news. What I said was the man could come up with a cure for the common cold and people would still bitch because it was Trump. And what did he do? He fast-tracked the vaccines. Now, before we ever found out how many side effects those wonderful little things had, what did they do? Oh, I'm not going to, I'm not going to get one because, Trump was the one that had the shit done. Oh, which was basically, here, I found this cure. Oh, no, you're still the devil.
Yeah.
And my mom, and I've had to tell her that I agree with this, but my mom is of the theory that if he would just drop out of the presidential race, they would quit trying to crucify him. And I told her, I said, Mom, it doesn't matter if he does or doesn't. They're not going to stop harping on the man. It's not going to stop.
Not at this point. Not at this point,
no.
He can't be allowed to. He can't. The establishment can't tolerate his existence. Mm-hmm. They really can't. Okay.
Agree.
And it even
better than that.
We talk about the quote unquote mainstream media being leftist, and it is. Don't get me wrong. But the
Mhm.
reality is all that also includes things like Fox News and everything else. And Fox has been going after him as well. Matt Drudge,
Yeah.
another one, all right, who's been going after
Uh,
him incessantly, right? He
Yeah.
was
It's
not
better than
as
what you've been saying. Because if Donald Trump never existed, they would invent him because they need somebody like Trump to validate themselves.
no.
This is true, unfortunately.
No, I don't think
Mhm.
they care about validating themselves so much as maintaining power.
No, they've got
Maintaining their
to
internal
validate.
power.
No, man. You're not very intelligent, so let me tell you this way.
Oh Lord.
People in the left have to validate themselves because that's the only way they can keep their power.
Mhm.
They would find some guy to sit up and use as a scapegoat for other things. But let me tell you right now,
That's what I just said.
they would not invent someone like Trump who is actually a threat to their power. Okay, Trump is an
If they
actual
invent
threat to
somebody
their
like if they invent somebody like Trump, he's not a threat to their power because they invented him. They control him.
power. Well,
I was waiting for that
but
word.
that's why they're going after him right now, is because they can't control him.
No,
Mhm.
nobody can. What they don't like is, number one, he speaks his mind. He doesn't speak in politicalese. He doesn't
Yeah.
speak out the side of his mouth.
Yeah,
Whatever he thinks comes right out of his mouth with no filter, and that's the Jersey boy.
and what they
Now,
don't like, number two, is he's got a mind.
well, I mean, the other thing. Well, I don't like. I've never really liked the man because I can't stand egotists, and he is a raging egotist because
Bye-bye,
everything
Baba.
has got to be about him. So, I have the theory that he both likes the attention and doesn't like the attention at the same time because it's not the kind of attention that he wanted.
Yes,
Huh?
I would agree with that.
What worries me is about him is he's this huge man. He's got these small, dainty, like 5-year-old girl hands.
It doesn't matter what his hands are like. Why does his hands make a
They're
difference?
not little.
It doesn't matter what size his hands are. They were when you have nothing to go after the man as far as his character is concerned, people often start targeting his physical attributes. That's where the tiny hand bullshit came in at. Because they didn't like what he stood for.
Right, I do like what he stood for. And I'm still targeting his hands because I think it's funny.
And I would point out, having tiny hands like that certainly makes a certain part of his body his hands may be involved with look really big. So maybe that's why he's got tiny
The other
hands.
thing is he would point it out as well, but you wouldn't
Just
see
saying.
because his hands are too tiny.
What makes it that part of the anatomy look really big?
Mm,
If the
A
rest of your anatomy
wallet
is
full
really
of
small,
$50 bills. That's
This is
what
true.
makes that part of the anatomy look large. Okay.
And let's be honest, that man has got money to burn.
Yeah.
Literally.
I know Maddie's already heard this joke, and you probably have as well. But yeah, if you get a Chinese person with an erection walk into a wall, what happens?
Go on.
He breaks his nose.
Not this stupid joke.
I'm sorry, I just like it.
On to the next story.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so exhausted at these white folks in these PD sessions, professional development sessions. This lady actually had the caudacity to say that black people can be racist too. I had to stop the session, all right, and give Karen the business. We are not the majority. We don't have power. One.
You are the fucking president.
No, it's just a separate issue now.
Okay.
There are one of the joint. I think at least one of the Joint Chiefs of Staff is black. There are black senators. There are fucking black fucking string pullers in the halls of power. Don't talk bullshit.
Okay.
They can't help it. They're full of it.
Hold on.
Oh.
Yep.
Now this came to me from Jensen. Thank you, Mr. Jensen, for delivering this to me. But his question had nothing to do with this woman per se, because this came up, all right, in a congressional hearing where Matt Gaetz, all right, who is a Florida congressman, House of Representatives, all right, was at a congressional hearing asking a Defense Department official about why this woman is still, employed. And this woman's salary, according to Matt Gaetz, is $160,000 a year.
Fuck.
Right? That's salary. You got to understand something. That's salary.
Mm-hmm.
There are all sorts of perks that go along with that.
Yeah.
All right, because you're
stock shares and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's not stock shares because she's a government worker.
Doesn't matter. A lot of them still get their stock shares or something equivalent.
Well,
They get lots of financial perks.
Not if they work for the government. Not if they work for the government.
They have to purchase their own stocks.
They have to purchase their own stocks. You can't. When you are in a salary position in the government, you are paid by your grade.
So that's
and it is a salary, meaning it doesn't matter if you work 30 hours or 60, you still get paid the same amount of money.
Yeah.
Or as this woman, probably 2. But that's a separate issue, all right?
Yeah.
Matt Gaetz was asking this, and Matt Gaetz asked this guy, all right? And you can, I'll put this back up here. This is part of the Lotus Eaters.
Out to Lotus Eaters. They do some good stuff.
Yeah.
I do like their stuff.
It's on YouTube, and I'll put the link later on in the chat. Or Jensen, if you want to put the link in the chat, that's fine. All right, where you can watch the session.
Right. No, Jensen, it's Nomad's show. Let Nomad do the work.
Right. If Jensen wants to put it in there for me, that would be very helpful. Unlike certain other individuals.
I'm just about to. Don't worry.
Anyway, Batman. But the gentleman was then asked, "Do you agree with this woman?" And he said, "I'm not going to answer that question." Mm-hmm. So Jensen asked, "Is that okay? Is it okay to, in front of Congress, to say I'm not answering that question?"
If you're being asked as part of an inquiry a question, you are required to answer it. It's what
I thought
in the UK.
Right.
That's actually what I thought. That's why I asked.
No.
Hold on. Right. The person who knows is about to tell us, and I'm not being sarcastic there.
No. And Maddie, I think if I say something wrong, Maddie, please step on. When you're testifying in front of Congress, you can testify under a lot of different strictures and ways of doing this. In this case, all right, I don't believe the official was placed under oath, all right, to have to answer these questions. This is not that type of an investigation. All right. Now, could they have done it? Could they have done that? Actually, they could have. They could have placed him under oath and said, "No, you will answer this question." All right.
Is why I said
at which point he has the ability, if he so desires, to plead the fifth.
Which is why I said, if it's an official inquiry, because in which case he would be placed under oath.
I have a follow-up question for the Americans. If someone pleads the fifth, go on, you first.
If someone, it's still an official inquiry. It's just not a legal inquiry. Congress has the right to investigate and conduct these kinds of investigations, which is what technically a lot of the congressional hearings are about. Everything, including dam usage and family farming flooding and things like that. Those are all part of quote unquote an official investigation. But whether they place somebody under oath or not is an entire different matter. And if you remember correctly, all right, they initially back about 4 years ago when they dragged all Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg in along with Dorsey and the rest of them, right? They didn't place any of them under oath, and because they lied through their teeth when they weren't under oath. Right. Now, what were you going to ask, Jensen?
Right. Am I correct in suggesting that if a person claims the fifth, that supersedes everything when it comes to these inquiries?
The pleading of the fifth can be a very sticky thing because once you plead the fifth, you cannot answer anything after that point, after that plea. Because if you say I plead the fifth for one question and then turn around and ask a completely different question, that breaks your Fifth Amendment.
Okay.
You're basically telling somebody, I'm not going to answer any more questions under the grounds that it may incriminate you. So if you turn around and answer a question after that, the plea for the fifth is null and void.
Okay, thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
That's
There
a very
is one
succinct
other-
and
there is
easy
another
to understand answer,
circumstance.
Maddie.
Yeah, well, there's also one other circumstance where they can supersede that, and that is
You
if they
cut out
give
there.
what
You said they can suit, and then you cut out.
Supersede.
you can.
Yeah, I
you
got
can,
that, but-
I'm sorry. You can supersede this is if the Congress waives prosecution for what they say, then you have to testify. You cannot plead the fifth.
Okay.
I think it's both an advantage and a disadvantage that we don't have the fifth over here. Isn't it, Jensen?
Yes, but we can do the whole I refuse to answer on the grounds it may incriminate myself.
Yeah.
But we can't claim, air quotes, the fifth.
Yeah. I mean, either way, pleading the fifth or refusing to answer on the grounds that make incriminate yourself.
Mhm.
It's
It
kind
does
of-
incriminate yourself.
Yeah, it's kind of a bad thing to do because it does lay suspicion heavily at your feet.
Term used is this: if you've got nothing to worry about, why can't you talk? And at that point, you know you're buggered.
Yep.
Simple as that. You are screwed. At that moment, you have put yourself in a situation. After all, if you're refusing to answer, there's obviously something that you're hiding.
Yeah.
And if you're hiding something, then you're obviously
Historical fact in the United States and the United Kingdom, I think more so in the United Kingdom actually, there have been scores of men gone to prison because of taking just such actions while they're protecting the honour of a woman.
Yep.
I'm not casting dispersions upon women, but I am commenting on how people, even to this day, still act towards women.
Yeah.
This is entirely casting dispersions upon men, actually, Maddie.
Well, if you want to talk about women in today's day and age, Memphis women's basketball coach Katrina Merriweather resigns. Memphis Athletics said in a statement Merriweather will accept a job at another institution and her decision was not impacted by the Bowling Green incident. One day after a Memphis Tigers women's basketball player made national headlines for punching a player at the handshake line in their WNIT loss to Bowling Green, the University of Memphis announced that the head coach Katrina Merriweather is resigning.
Oh, it's obvious what happened there. The player in question obviously mistook the interact button for the combat button.
Earlier today, head women's coach basketball coach Katrina Merriweather informed athletic department leadership and our team that she will be resigning to take a position at another institution. The University of Memphis athletic director Lard Vitek. How do you say that? Vitek? Viex?
Don't look at me. It's not Spanish. I don't know.
Viach!
It's not Spanish. I don't know. Don't ask me.
No, sorry, I can pronounce it for you. You ready? The V-Meister. There you go.
The
That's the
V-Meister,
name.
okay.
Hold on, where?
V-Meister said that Merriweather's decision was entirely independent from the circumstances surrounding their end of their season. Bullshit. All right. Now, if there's video...
No. I can see how this went, especially being from Memphis, Tennessee. She's sitting up there and she goes, I am now announcing my official retirement from coaching this particular team. I am now stepping down from this position. Yes, you have a question? Does this have anything to do with that girl walloping the shit out of that other girl the other day? I don't know why y'all keep asking that, but the answer is no. I'm retiring. I've been thinking about this long before that girl walloped that other girl, and I ain't got nothing to say about that.
Maddie, I'm not saying that was a good accent, but I could see a cowboy hat appearing on you.
Actually was pretty good, I got to say.
Well, I did live in Georgia for most of my life, so a southern accent's not that hard.
The video of what happens is you can't really
pretty
see
hard
much.
for Nomad to do.
All right, but the woman the player throws a stiff right to the frickin' jaw and just drops this girl.
Yeah.
Bam! Now, this head coach, grabs her and then shuffles her, takes her away and everything, right? Because obviously this is a big thing. And believe it or not, they have charged, all right, this girl, all right, the young lady, I guess is a better way to put it, with assault. All right, they bring in assault charges against her. So,
which salt? Will that be white salt, pink Himalayan salt, black Himalayan salt? I mean, if you're gonna bring salt charges, I mean, you gotta be very specific about these.
Assault charges.
One of these days, you're gonna have a boxing match, right? A white boxer and a black boxer. And when the bell goes, the white boxer's going to go out there. He's going to punch the black guy, who's immediately going to crawl back to his corner and accuse him of being racist and attacking a black man for no reason.
Did you not hear about the stroke of genius that happened? I believe it was last year, when apparently in a Super Bowl, a white quarterback won and beat a black quarterback, and he was accused of racism because he didn't allow a black guy to win. Did you not hear about that?
No, but it doesn't surprise me.
Oh, good grief. And the two Brits are trying to stir up more freaking racism in this country. Look at this crap.
We're going to get them one way or another.
All right, let's get out of the next story. Let's go overseas for a story here. French mobs set police vehicles on fire with Molotov cocktails as rioting that stopped King Charles's state visit continues.
The only way that
Molotov cocktails at King Charles?
No. If only.
The main reason why it stopped him visiting is because the Secret Service knew he'd join in with the mob.
Yes, that's actually fair. Do make sure you put the picture up of those vehicles.
Police vehicles were set on fire by a rampaging mob, all right, using Molotov cocktails in the mostly peaceful riot in France today, as rioting that led to the cancellation of a state visit by King Charles continued. Thousands fought running battles with heavily armed officers at an illegal gathering on Saturday at Saint-Céline.
Saint French person near French town.
You forgot you said riots of peace wrong, sir.
Apparently, the rioters have promised to do to Macron what the revolutionaries did to Louis XIV. I've got a nice blade they can use.
Awesome.
Guillotine him, huh? Right. By the way, the guillotine is still used in certain countries.
It's like I said before we went live. When you start screwing with people's money, everybody gets pissed off, even the French.
Yeah. They were protesting against the deployment of a new water storage center, as well as President Emmanuel Macron's pushing the retirement age from 60 to 62 without a parliamentary vote. Police have completely lost control, said one of the demonstrators. Vehicles have been set on fire using Molotov cocktails, and officers are running everywhere, firing tear gas canisters at us.
Do you know what the worst thing about this is?
What?
The boats that are coming across the channel are going to increase, only they're not going to be filled with these foreigners from like the Middle East, and they're going to be full of French people.
Yeah, this is true.
This is the French police deploying.
Yeah.
What the hell are those sitting on? They've raided a kiddies food park.
It's a bunch of golf carts.
They look like something out of a bad science fiction movie.
Yep.
Yeah, one of those straight-to-video jobs.
Riot Bull gendarmes riding quad bikes and firing tear gas shells toward protesters. These guys are firing grenade launch canisters, right, from these grenade launchers, right, from these things. This is like, it's something you'd see out of Mad Max.
No, it's not. It's worse than that. It's worse than that. I could just see them driving in the mob, and you can hear in the background,
So
My
I can
whole
tell
thing
you-
with my imagination is I can see these idiots in a Keystone Cops movie firing off the grenade launcher and the whole ATV flipping end over end because it couldn't anchor it properly.
Oh,
I can
yeah,
see
no, I
that
can
one-
see that.
that one that's-
tear gas
hold on,
canisters
that
as
guy-
they drive forward while right underneath them.
Hold on. That vehicle that's closest to the camera.
Yep.
If you look at the guy in the back, that's fucking Clouseau.
Hmm.
I can just see this now. What happened to Jean-Pierre and Jacques? They fired off the rocket launcher. The ATV is now upside down in the ditch.
In
What
chat
do we
from
do?
Oz, very low budget Mad Max. Yeah, this is Mad Max 5. We've got no budget. That's exactly what this film's called.
Police
It's the
spokesman
fanfic.
said that explosives are being used against us. We're trying to bring the situation under control. And if explosives are being used against you, open frickin' fire. First strength, fire. I guarantee that stops and that crowd leaves.
MC,
Mhm.
MC, sweetheart, you're telling the French to have balls.
She has a point there, man.
I'm just putting that in perspective for you.
She has a point.
Friendly advice. Just
Hey,
trying to offer some
Nomad,
friendly advice.
you can remember the 70s in France, can't you? They were having riots every other bloody week and the police were hard on them.
That's true. That's true.
I certainly can. It's all the student riots in the 70s.
All right.
I mean, this is probably a country where, the baby diapers have to be, all different colors because if they were white, people would think the French were perpetually surrendering. I mean, this is just the French.
I still love the
Oh
fact
my
that
God.
technically the original French flag was actually white. So it fits quite nicely. And
Yep.
that's not actually a joke. The real French flag back in the past was a white flag. What does that tell you about them?
Well, I better say hi there, FTW nil.
Yep.
Oh my God, Oz. The French have balls just usually in their mouths.
Oh, he's not wrong.
How am I supposed to continue on if I keep coming up with these things?
Oh, we haven't even started yet, mate. We're taking the percent of French. We're British. We can keep going for centuries.
Talk about the Brits for a moment.
Okay.
The UK to
We
test
have been going for
nationwide
centuries.
emergency alert next month. Here's
Oh,
how
that.
it will look.
Oh, yeah.
The government will send an emergency warning message to mobile phone users across the UK next month to test a new public alert system. Unless they acknowledge the alert, phone users will be unable to use other features on the devices.
You thought I was joking, didn't you? No,
The
I meant
cyberflight
it.
message is due to be sent on Sunday, April 23rd.
Lord.
All right.
Yeah, it won't. Yeah, and that the way things work. If you don't have a battery in your phone, it won't affect it.
Hmm.
All right.
Unfortunately, a lot of phones
will
can't.
initially-
You can't take the battery out now. You were saying.
I can't.
Yeah. The scheme will initially focus on the most serious, severe weather alerted events with the ability to get a message to 90% of mobile users within a relevant area in an emergency. Okay, I understand the emergency alert system because we have it here. And Maddie will testify to this that you get a lot of different alerts for a lot of different reasons. Weather is a big one, so are the Amber alerts.
Yeah.
These are a way to control the population through fear.
Yep.
Well, I can't understand. Why would you want to sit up there and disable the frickin' phone? If you
Stupidity.
don't respond, we're going to disable your phone?
No,
Who
Maddie had the best
comes up
answer.
with this?
Stupidity.
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 Because I mean, it's just our phones when we get the alerts, whether it's an Amber Alert or a tornado watch warning. I get those two confused. Or whatever. It's like, first of all, you're minding your own damn business, and whether you have the phone silenced or not, there's this screechingly loud fucking alarm that happens. So And if you're up at 2:00 in the morning because you can't sleep, you're going, fuck, I cut the phone off because I'm gonna wake up everybody in the goddamn house. What the hell is it? Oh, it's an Amber. It's what is this? Oh, Amber Alert. In Florida, motherfuckers, I live in Minnesota.
You know why?
That's the first thing. The second thing is we can still use the phone because it now becomes a notification. Y'all, it's like over there in Britain, we're alerting you to a weather event. We're alerting you to a weather event.
No,
and you can't use your bloody phone until you acknowledge the fact that it is a weather event.
Yeah.
No, Maddie, the reason why we won't be able to use a phone if we don't respond is because it'll be blaring and people pick up the phone like it'd be
that shit against the wall.
Yeah. Yeah. It will be flung against the wall with the greatest of force.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, the thing, okay, look. They're saying about the weather event concept. Trust me, I have ongoings on this that we can talk about. But in England, we don't actually have that severe weather, especially in relation to your country. I mean,
right.
What we call a tornado, you call a small gust. What we call a flood, you call raining slightly. Okay.
Yeah.
No. That depends. That depends on what part of the United States you're living in. Because remember, we do have a tornado alley. We do have some places that have hurricanes, and then you have California, whose seasons include shaking, sliding, drowning, and burning. So those are their 4 seasons. Because there's a completely different country. They just haven't declared themselves as a separate country yet with their own season.
Hold on a minute. Tornado alley, isn't that another word for Kim Kardashian's vagina?
No.
I thought that was the Marianas Trench. No, but seriously, you want to talk about how bad it is over here? We once, as our worst earthquake we ever had, was I think it was like 4.9.
That was in the 70s, I believe.
I live in Dixie Alley.
But
Darstar said
we live on an island.
Last night I sweated out a tornado warning. I heard the sirens going off in Little Rock, and yet I didn't get one notification on my phone. Dude, you gotta have one of the new mobile phones, not something from the
1970s. That's the advantage of living on an island. The weather conditions are generally milder.
True.
You live on a continent. You've got atmospheric build-ups. Highs and lows because of the varying effects that the sun has on the ground, which affects the air.
Well, I mean, all I know is I went from Georgia that actually has 4 seasons. That this is tolerable. Fuck, this is hot. I'm staying inside it now. It's cold. Those are the 4 seasons. To Minnesota, which has 2 seasons. I'm freezing my ass off, and they're doing construction.
Oh, I thought it was I'm freezing my ass off on. Oh shit! Here are the mosquitoes.
Now it's winter.
No, my dad, when I asked him, what's it like when he was still alive, obviously, what's it like to live in Minnesota? He says there's 2 seasons up here: winter and construction.
Fair. Can't really disagree.
Yeah.
Well, you can, but you'd be wrong.
There's one thing I would like to say with this whole thing that they're doing, this mobile phone thing. It's a great concept. There are 1,000,001 things that can go absolutely wrong with it. But one major thing that is really good is I don't have a mobile phone. I don't care what they're up to.
Give you one.
Yeah, and I will tell them quite eloquently where they can shove it. Yeah. And if they give me the opportunity, I will shove it there for them. Well, I do not want one of those damn things that are evil.
My grandmother, God rest her soul. Mm-hmm. When somebody tried to give her a computer, she gave it away. When somebody tried to give her a cell phone, she said, I run the same errands to the same places and visit the same people every day. If you can't find me at any of those places, then it's not my problem. It's yours.
Yep.
But you're not giving me one of those things. That's all she's thinking. This is a woman who got confused when my cousin decided to slip in call waiting because she thought her phone was broken at that point because it never stopped ringing.
My argument, somebody, why don't you want a smartphone? It's got a camera on it. I've got a camera.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a calculator on it. I can do arithmetic.
Most people nowadays.
You can send text messages to people. I can do that with my computer.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what do you want in a phone? to be able to pick it up, dial a number, and phone somebody.
It's
Now-
confusing, isn't it?
Look, and when I was taking my son to a homeschool co-op, this girl said that she needed a ride. Now, there were parents there. The way it worked was parents that were qualified to teach certain subjects taught those subjects, and then the rest of us just waited for them to be done so we could go home. So
Mhm.
now we're waiting, everybody's getting ready to go home, and this one girl saying that she needs a ride. Well, one of the fathers was like, well, did you call somebody? She goes, well, I texted my friend. I'm waiting for her to get back to me. And the father said, you do realize in this particular instance, actually dialing her phone number and calling her would have been faster.
Texting
And the
is
girl
the-
just
is
looked
the-
at her like a doe and eye beats.
Yeah.
Yeah, the inability to call people, they rely so much on text nowadays. That people really do.
How
Alright.
often have we heard this story? I mean, I've heard it myself. One of my friends, of the younger generation, he's in his early 30s, says he come home from work, and his 10-year-old daughter's back from school, right? She's sitting there on the sofa, the TV's on, she's got a phone out. Her friend's there, she's got a phone out,
Oh,
and every
no,
so
they
often
weren't.
they're giggling.
Oh no,
Texting
please tell
away.
they weren't. Oh
Yeah.
no.
And so, who you texting? You know, we're texting her. But she's sitting right beside you. Why don't you talk to her?
Yeah.
They looked at him as if he was mental. They went back to texting each other.
What we have here is failure to communicate.
Yeah.
Literally.
They don't realise that texting costs money.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Yeah.
Deutsche Bank share slide reignites worries among investors. A sharp declines in banking shares in Europe have renewed concerns that a panic triggered by the collapse of two U.S. banks and a rushed takeover of the Swiss giant Credit Suisse, all right, may not be easily contained. Shares in Germany's Deutsche Bank fell by 14% at one point on Friday, with other lenders also seeing big
I
losses.
pronounced that wrong. It's Dutchy Bank.
Okay. London's
Past two digits on the left-hand
FTSE
side.
100 ended up down 1.3, while stock markets in Germany and France dropped even more sharply. Falls were less severe in the United States, but shares in financial firms, including giants such as J.P. Morgan Chase and Goldman Sachs, weighed on the indices, which are all trading lower around midday in New York. Okay, I want to say this for people who don't know how serious this situation can be. Deutsche Bank, all right, is the underwriter for the euro. If
Mhm.
Deutsche Bank collapse, the euro will collapse with it. It
If the
cannot
Deutsche Bank
sustain itself.
If
Oh,
the Deutsche Bank
no.
collapses, the UK is grinning like a fucking cat that's just eaten a canary.
Oh yes.
Well, I believe that. But
Mm-hmm.
the banking, all right, first of all, the banking system in the United States, while people are talking about, oh, look at these banks. If you take a look at the banks in the United States that failed, they failed for one reason, right? And that is they were way outside what they were supposed to be doing. The one bank gave literally $73 million to Black Lives Matter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is just a few months before they're going to declare bankruptcy. They gave Black Lives Matter $73 million. These institutions were not
If I
acting
was
like
one of their
lenders.
if I was one of their customers, I'd be taking the bastards to court.
Hey,
Oh,
I don't know what you're worried about. I'm sure Black Lives Matter will give them the money back.
you know
Oh,
what?
sure. Right
money.
after they buy like 3 more fucking mansions and 2
Yeah,
more Lamborghinis
like-
and a couple of Porsches here and there.
You
Yeah,
are not
sure.
gonna,
Thank you, Mike.
in the
I
United
was about
States,
to say, it doesn't
people,
stand for Black Lives Matter. It stands for buy lavish mansions.
Right.
well, that's very true. But the sad part about this is our wonderful Treasury Secretary said they will sit up there, the Fed, and she controls the Fed, are going to totally underwrite the cost. So you can go back and say, well, if I was an investor, I'd sue for what? You're going to be made 100% whole by the federal government, my tax dollars.
So hold on, the US government's going to pull an Obama again.
Yes.
Again is the important part.
No, it's going to be worse than Obama because they said a 100% write-off. 100% underwrite the whole thing, rather than hold them to the $250,000 limit, because the banks that failed here in the United States were all into that crypto crap.
Mm-hmm.
Heavily.
You're not a fan of that, are you, mate? You really ain't. I can
what the
tell.
problem is with crypto. Nobody wants to listen.
All I have to say is I'm glad that all my money's in a credit union. Fuck your banks.
Get your money bung under your mattress, you know.
Get out my head, Jensen. I was about to say it's time for the return of the old banking system.
Yeah, mate.
Mattress and shotgun.
Oh, yeah.
Like, my parents have always had a credit union. And then when I first started working, they put me as a member of their credit union. So it's like I've always ever only been a part of a credit union. And I've never had a problem with the credit union. You know, it's when I was married to my second husband, there was this bank in the South called BB&T. And, you know, he was like, well, I don't know why you still have this. You know, you need to go ahead and we need to join up on my back. So I'm not joining your bank. Next thing we know, I get up one morning and try and pay a bill. And we're like $800 and some odd in the red. Somebody somehow had gotten a hold of the bank card or the account or something. And they went on a fucking spending spree in Europe. So I call BB&T and tell them what happened. And the first stupid question out of their mouth is, well, have you ever been on vacation? I'm like, honey, I'm so broke. I got to take out a loan to pay fucking attention. And you're asking me if I'm on vacation in Europe?
I love that. Can I use that? I'm so broke. I need to take out a loan to pay attention.
Yes, you can use it. You know, and so she had to freeze the stuff.
Can I ask a question? That phrase, yeah, I'm so broke. I need to take out a loan to pay attention.
Yeah.
What is it in Spanish?
Oh my God, I'd have to think about it. Oh yeah. Ahora no, señor de murciélago. Ahora no. There's your Spanish.
I need to go and lie down for a bit.
It's like, you know, and then later, it's like this was during my second husband, so we had the baby Bush stimulus checks, which are actually stimulus checks, right? And I say that because every time Obama and everybody else is like stimulus checks, I'm like, where the fuck is the check? Because it never gets here. But I digress. So we get the money, we put the money in the bank. So we need a new oven. So we're going over to Home Depot. We're looking at the new ovens. We swipe the card to buy the new oven and it gets declined. Now this time he's over there at my credit union. And he's like, well, we got the money in there. Why was it declined? And I looked at him and I said, have we ever made a $600 purchase? No. That's why it's declined. All I got to do is call the bank, the credit union, and go, hey, this is me. This is proof that this is me. This is the total bill, and they will unlock the account. Unlike your BB&T that allows somebody to spend close to $900 in Europe. I will live and die by a credit union. I will never be the member of a bank.
Where?
So, Jensen, are you ever going to give Maddie our money back?
No, shush.
I don't think that's where that was intended to go.
Sorry. I ADD'd, so he went off in a tangent.
No worries.
She's having a bad day. Let's make it worse. At least 2 dead and 9 missing after a chocolate factory explodes in Pennsylvania.
Not the Hershey's!
I bet the 9 missing are all women.
Chocolate. No, hold up. You don't be accusing Hershey's of being chocolate. That is vomit in a brown.
At least 2 people were killed and 9 were missing after a massive explosion.
Yeah,
and the factory on Friday.
The 9 missing are the women who said, "I'll go and look for survivors." Why are you taking a spoon in there?
A violent blast at the R.M. Palmer Company plant rocked the town of West Reading shortly before 5 p.m. Officials said at least 8 people were hospitalized, which is unfortunate, and 2 people were dead. The cause of the blast remains under investigation. I didn't know that chocolate was explosive. Right.
Jensen is right though. That brown stuff, what they make in America, that's not chocolate.
No, it's not. It is vomit in a bar. Sorry.
Look
Apologies
at
if
the
that
size of
offends
this
you.
freaking thing. Watch this.
Oh, it's
Ooh.
beautiful.
Oh no, they make the chocolate bunnies. Yeah, I looked up the company. They make the chocolate bunnies. They killed the chocolate bunnies.
No, what they did,
Somebody find out who blew up the chocolate bunnies.
is they made a specific French confectionery, a bomb surprise.
Yeah. Oh, it's beautiful. I'm sorry. I know that's a loss of life and all that lot and a waste of chocolate, but that is a beautiful explosion.
This is what it looked like before. This is what it looks like now.
Oh, okay. F's in the chat for the chocolate Easter bunnies. I mean, really. And the 2 guys that died. I mean, okay. In all
Put the
fairness.
bunnies first.
Yeah.
Confection is one of the largest.
Because I don't think even Jensen would eat a charbroiled corpse. But
850 people and specializes in holiday novelties like chocolate Easter bunnies. Oh, the poor freaking
Jensen.
The bunnies. They killed the bunnies.
Dark Star is asking what's wrong with Hershey's. I believe you've already answered that.
Yes, I have. I'm sorry to say, DS, but what you guys call chocolate is literally solid vomit in a bar. You try some Cadbury's chocolate and then come back to me. Then we will talk what chocolate really
Try
is.
Swiss chocolate and then come back to Hershey's chocolate. You will just know. There's no comparison.
No, I actually completely agree with you. The Swiss chocolate just absolutely. I mean, you look at Swiss chocolate and then you look at Hershey's. Honestly, you cannot accuse Hershey's of being anything but brown goop.
Hershey's is what you buy when you can't afford anything else. Basically, Hershey's is like your generic chocolate. It's got a lot of artificial shit in it that doesn't need to be in there. Unfortunately, Hershey's also owns peanut butter cups, the peanut butter cups, and I like the peanut butter cups.
Oh no, the peanut butter cups are not bad. Hershey's is like American lager. I don't actually. No, actually, you know what? I agree with you because they're both basically at the absolute bottom of the barrel when it comes to consumable. Sorry to offend America here, but you guys don't know what alcohol is, all right? You really don't. It's quite
well.
clear.
I mean, no. We actually have some microbreweries around here that brew their own beer. That's actually rather in. And I'm a lightweight, but you know.
Yes, so it's
I'm telling you, 16 ounces of 9.
So it's not American beer; it's Lilliputian beer. Gotcha.
No, it's American beer, but it's regulated only to be for so long. If you're a big ass company, it can only be so strong. However, we do have microbreweries that have really nice beers and lagers and some stouts, and I don't even like stouts. And there are some stouts out there that I wouldn't mind drinking, but you know, it's microbrews that have to do it.
I would like to point out that when I'm taking the Mickey out of the American alcohol, I'm actually only talking about their lager. When it comes to their shorts and things like that, nothing but love. I absolutely respect their capacity to make brown knockout juice. I'm absolutely fine. But what you call lager, we literally call cat pee.
Yeah, what you call beer, we literally call a joke.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're talking to somebody who drinks, me personally, Newcastle, Killian's Red. I like more imports than I like, you know, the domestic stuff.
The Newcastle Brown Ale you're getting is not real Newcastle Brown because I haven't made it for 20 years now. It's the brewery and it's basically shite to what it used to be.
Mm. Well, it's still better than American lager. It's still better than American lager. That's all I say.
But let's be honest,
I'm not talking about the American beer, all right? But Americans do. The Tennessee whiskeys are awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yes.
Let me address Neil in the chat there. Neil, anything apart from how you talk would be. In fact, if you started talking like me, for you that would be posh.
Oof!
Ow!
That's harsh.
Yeah,
holy shit!
But true.
Holy shit! And that's putting it nice.
Porgal blimey, governor.
Ukraine is struggling to recruit soldiers as it prepares for a new offensive, with some spending thousands to flee the country.
Well, I mean, between the soldiers that are died and the ones that are trying to get the hell out of Dodge, yeah, I can see it.
The Ukrainian
isn't it
struggling
amazing?
soldiers
You know,
as
there's-
it prepares for a new offensive against Russia, with some young men spending the equivalent of thousands of dollars to flee the country. A growing number of young Ukrainians are trying to avoid being called up to fight against Russia.
I'm sorry, but this is proving everything I've said about people like this. They're all gung-ho for war because they've never seen it before. When they see it, they're actually scared shitless of it.
Even though support for the
don't know
country's
how to
military
control that
effort
fear.
hasn't fallen, according to the Journal. If the support hadn't fallen, people wouldn't be leaving. Early on in the war, people were eager to serve, but now many of those remaining are less willing to sign up to fight. This struggle comes as the Ukraine prepares to launch a new counteroffensive to push back Russia following months of a stalemate. The Ukraine's top ground forces commander said on Thursday that Ukraine would be starting this offensive very soon. Ukraine banned men aged from 18 to 60 from leaving the country shortly after Russia launched its invasion, but it has not so far induced compulsory service. Why?
Before you
Okay.
continue, Nomad, you want to make sure you give Ronin the wrench. He's still grey.
Oh, is he?
Hmm?
Ronin's in chat, so you want to make sure you up his rank and give him the wrench. Something you asked me to do for you, so
Yes.
letting you know. That's all right.
He should now be blue.
Hello, hubby.
All right. Now one guy was saying that he was worried. He's afraid of going outside. Okay, because he's afraid that the military authorities will see him and ask him questions, which means to me the old Shanghai maneuver. You
It
know,
works.
what are you doing? Drag him on the street. This little guy wakes up, right? With the barracks. Get up, move it, maggot! When did I get here?
I mean,
Go
it's
to the
first of all
store.
they kept him from leaving the country. They never enacted the draft, so it was either stay there and get bombed or fight. So I mean, with the alternatives. Now they're trying to sneak out of the country. I mean, let's face it. For those of you that don't know, you'll probably argue with me in the chat. That's what selective service is. It's just that we just haven't reactivated the draft. It never went away. It just hasn't been reactivated.
Well, yeah, that's very true.
It
has not been
the first time we get drug into an actual fucking war.
Yep.
I bet you anything it's going to be activated.
Yep, and half your population will move to Canada.
Well, the problem with that is,
in the UK, we used to have national service. I think that ended sometime in the 60s, right?
All right.
To be honest, I don't think it should have.
I've said that for
no,
ages.
I honestly think that military service should be compulsory. I really do.
The Israelis got it right. They really did. The Israelis know what they're doing with this shit.
Right. No. My microphone. I don't know why it's low. Here, let me put myself up.
Usually around it ended in
How's this?
1963.
Is this better?
Jensen.
Is this better?
It sounds louder for me, mate. Go on.
It ended in 1963.
All right. Okay. Cool. Honestly, I thought it was the 70s, but all right.
No, I really believe we should. Everybody should put in 2 years of service to the government.
Yeah, you know why? One of the reasons why.
If you don't want to do it, I would go the route of Starship Troopers.
Starship Troopers.
Or Starship
mate.
Troopers. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I am okay with that.
You know why I think the end of
whereas
this?
if you don't want to,
he doesn't
want to
know.
serve, that's fine, but you no longer get the vote.
Yeah.
Nothing
Well,
else.
my whole
nothing
thing is,
else.
along with conscription, to me, because I have worked both retail and in the food industry, these little motherfuckers graduated from high school need to spend at least 6 months waiting on tables. I don't mean cooking. I don't mean cleaning the restaurant. I mean waiting on tables. And these little fuckers also need to work a retail job during a holiday rush.
We
and
know
then
what.
come back to everybody else that's been doing it for years and disrespect people because I'm
Maddie,
telling you.
I want
we know
to put him in the
happens.
field picking fruit and picking vegetables.
Hello, is this thing on?
No,
Yes.
can't hear a
We're
thing.
just ignoring you.
It's on. We're just ignoring you.
I noticed. I was going to say that we know what would happen if well, we know what happens with these little fuckers if they got to wait on tables.
Yeah.
You misgender them; they have a nervous breakdown.
Yeah.
And like it says, I think I know the real reason why they discontinued national service.
Go on.
Money.
There.
I mean, it's in regards to moving to Canada. I know that's a joke, but I have spoken to a couple of my friends when people were threatening like it's a threat. We don't like you anyways. You want to leave. But I digress. All these people that were threatening to move to Canada if Trump got elected, and I was talking to my Canadian friends, and my Canadian friends were like, well, they would have to go through the screening process up here, and part of the screening process is what marketable skills do you have to enrich our country? And if they can't answer that question and they can't bring their own wealth with them, they ain't gonna be let in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why they're crying now because a bunch of freaking illegal aliens that came to the United States are finding it inhospitable because they're being shipped out of New York.
That's because
going across the border.
Kryptonite bombs.
Yep.
Nomad. They're finding it inhospitable in the United States because you've been testing kryptonite bombs.
Yeah, he's fucking
and not been testing kryptonite bombs. And they're not.
He knows exactly what he's doing with them. Yeah, he knows exactly what he's doing with them nowadays.
Anyway.
One of the things I'd do if I was a sarcastic person in charge of the drafting board in the United States that got caught started up again, Jane Fonda would get her papers. But she's too old. I don't care. She missed the last two, so she's going in this one.
I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with dropping her out of a helicopter, but that's a separate issue.
No. We would get the pilots to jump out, and when they were safely away, they'd pull the ripcords, and the helicopter would just drop with her in it.
Helicopter shove. Oh, it works.
I don't want to waste a helicopter personally.
It'd be a Russian one.
For sale, mansions at
bargain
prices. Millionaire sellers or millionaire home sellers.
I bet there's a lot of Black Lives Matter officials over there.
All right, and sweetening deals this week in Los Angeles, eager to move their properties off the market before the new real estate tax aimed squarely at the rich goes into effect on April 1st. In November,
imagine that.
Hey, I've got something. I'm being serious here. I think it's Malibu, in it, where you've got all those fucking mansions built on the side of the hills.
Mm-hmm.
There's several places.
All you need there is a perfect storm, a lot of flooding, a mudslide, and then an earthquake.
No. All you need is mudslide season. Then that beachfront property is going to be bottom of the valley front property, and ain't nobody going to want to buy that shit.
Oh yeah,
but
like it says, perfect storm. It'd be even better. They'd all go because a lot of them are actually built to withstand earthquakes.
Well, it can't happen at the same time because, as I already explained, California has 4 seasons: tornado season, earthquake season, mudslide season, and drought season. So, wildfire season. So you're either burning, shaking, sliding down a hill, or or getting swept away.
Well, actually, they've got 5 seasons, but one of them's all year round. It's silly season.
In November, Los Angeles voters backed to measure, ULA, a transfer tax on big ticket property sales that the city says will generate a new revenue stream for affordable housing projects and homelessness prevention. Known colloquially as the mansion tax, the measure ULA will impose a 4% tax on property sales above $5 million and a 5.5% tax on properties above $10 million. The tax must be paid by the seller. The city's homelessness crisis has ballooned in recent years. Tent cities have popped up in parks, on sidewalks, under freeways, and an estimated 42,000 people were homeless in the city of Los Angeles during a point in time during the point in time the canvas was done, I guess. All right, in February of 2022. Okay, according to the Los Angeles
A point in
Homeless
time canvas.
Services Authority.
No, Nomad, what they mean is a point in time canvas. That's like taking a snapshot with statistics of a point in time.
Okay. I'm gonna say something real specific here. That's all bullshit. Okay, what I mean by this is their excuse of why people are they're slashing the prices of these homes is this property tax. If there's a property tax like that will cause you to jack the price up. Not jack it down, jack it up. The reason you're seeing a frickin' slash in these prices, all right, is because people are leaving the state in droves.
Yes, because the reptilian masters have told them that the big one is coming.
No.
It's because their policies are so out of control, people are like, I've had enough, and they're leaving across state.
And they're trying to get to other states to infect the other states with the same bullshit they infected their own state with, so they're moving again. We don't want y'all. You just stay over there in your fucked up state that you fucked up because you keep voting in the same idiots to screw your life up even more. We don't want your asses in Minnesota. I got enough problems in Minnesota with this stupid Governor Walz and his bullshit. And nobody wants your ass in Texas. Seriously.
Mm-hmm.
No, they don't want it in Florida either. In fact, that's what they got to do. So they spent tax dollars, California tax dollars, and they're in the red now. By the way, begging the Californians to come back.
I know. Send them to that blue state near them, Arizona.
This is the same California that did a recall vote to get Newsom out of office, only to be dumb enough to vote him back in.
Yeah.
Yeah, and?
If you hated him enough to want him out of office, what kind of psychedelics do you have to be on to vote the same stupid idiot back in there that you voted out?
That's easy. Blue meanies.
Oh my
God.
Well, she's not wrong.
I mean, this is stupid.
She's not wrong.
I mean, they are the epitome of stupid. The whole freaking most of the state. I mean, I'm with Bill Engvall on this one. Somebody needs to be brave enough to go into California to put signs on every stupid person in the state. That way, when you walk up to somebody about to say something, you see the "I'm stupid" sign and go, "Never mind, I'm just coming over here."
Here's your sign.
Yep.
Tell you what you all want to do. Get in rubber dinghies, come over here.
Yeah,
free housing, free internet, free money.
Yeah,
but I ain't paying a TV tax.
Nor do I.
You'll get
that is one of the most insane things I ever saw. Is your TV tax?
What TV tax? Yeah.
Do you hear us denying it?
I can't believe Americans are like looked at that and we're like, you're at it. They can't really do this, can it? They're paying it. How the hell are they paying it? I'm telling you right now, there'd be secret antennas and secret aerials that they'd never be able to see.
There already are.
Yes. Oh,
all
yes.
over the place.
There already are.
That sounds so damn dumb.
There are idiots who are frightened of the TV detector van, which the BBC says they can detect the television. You can't detect receivers like that.
No, by definition. But it's fun.
Really? You guys are wrong.
I mean, when they first started, when they were advertising them on the TV back in the 70s, my father, who used to be in the Royal Signals, used to laugh his arse off at those infomercials. For just that reason.
That you can't sit up there and tell when a receiver's on?
You can't detect a receiver with Yeah, with that kind of with the technology that it's supposed to have used, it just isn't. It's not putting out a signal; it's receiving a signal.
Okay.
Maddie, this is where we step to one side and let these two argue. Just
All
let
right.
you know.
I'm going to tell
Here's
you
popcorn.
right now, you're wrong. Okay.
I'm
Because
with
how
Jacob.
they-
Mhm.
I'm with Jacob for what he put in the chat. I don't know what the fuck they're saying, but I know not MC is wrong.
Mhm.
You're completely wrong about this. I can tell you for a fact that the ability when you turn on your computers, they run at a specific frequency. All right, and that while that frequency may be hard to pick up because it doesn't go very far, as you believe,
You can detect
if you have the
residual.
right equipment, you can not only detect it, you can tell what channels they're on. In fact, they can sit up there and tell you what keys you're typing on your keyboard.
Mhm.
Maybe
Okay.
they can now, but they couldn't then.
Oh, now he's moving the goalpost.
No, I'm not.
And
No,
I
it
would
started in
suggest,
the 70s.
I would suggest for anyone that's worried about people knowing your computer, get the keylogger program so as it randomizes for the keystrokes. It's actually a really useful thing.
Oh, excuse
don't
me. You're
care.
over there in the UK. It's not moving the goalpost. It's shifting the soccer net. Sorry.
No, they're actually called goalposts because we invented the fucking games.
and couldn't
Boy.
figure out what name to call it. Told us it was one
No.
name and told everyone
No.
else it was something else.
Yeah, no, we just lied to
No,
you guys. That's what it was.
It was the
No.
United States that calls soccer. I don't
Well,
know who invented that stupid name because every time somebody says soccer, I'm waiting for somebody to hit a girl.
No,
Okay,
actually,
it's
it wasn't.
football because your foot connects with a ball.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
it's football.
Maddie, it was actually the English who invented the name. It's not an actual name. It's an acronym.
Yeah.
It's an acronym for Association Football.
Yeah.
Soccer?
Don't ask. Yeah, don't ask.
It was ASOC, and then they just started calling it soccer.
Oh,
Mhm.
I'm still waiting for somebody to hit a girl whenever somebody says soccer.
Mhm.
I do.
Just for dad joke purposes, because airplane ruined me.
Yeah, you picked the wrong day to go glue sniffing, didn't you?
Look, I was already bad enough with my ADD. Then you add chemo into it, and Lord knows what comes out of my mouth right now. Half the time I forget what I'm doing in the middle of doing it. Thanks, chemo.
It's fun that way.
I am Dane Bramaged on an expert level.
Oh, yeah.
17 migrants found trapped in a train car in Texas, 2 dead. 2 migrants died and 15 more were injured after being trapped in a train car in Uvalde County, U.S. state of Texas, police said on Friday. The total number of migrants found trapped in the container was 17, according to Uvalde Mayor Don McLaughlin. The U.S. Border Patrol stopped the train some 70 miles west of San Antonio after the Uvalde Telecommunications Center received a 911 call from an unknown third-party caller on Friday afternoon saying people were suffocating in a train car traveling near the U.S.-Mexican border. There was no derailment, and the people were undocumented immigrants. In other words, illegal aliens.
Yeah.
They are now, people are volunteering to get stuffed into train cars and sent up north.
Well,
What do you mean now?
If they're suffocating in an oxygenated atmosphere, they're definitely aliens.
What do you mean now? They weren't being suffocated. They were being slowly parboiled, and 2 actually made it to broiled status.
Yeah.
It was the other 15 that were taking a little longer to cook.
Actually, with all the humidity that would have been in there, it's more like they would have drowned.
True.
The question is how are they able to get into these cars? All right, and do we really have that much train traffic from Mexico into the United States?
Coyotes, dude. You keep forgetting. Coyotes and people smugglers will find any way of getting anybody anywhere. What was it? Last year they found a whole bunch of them in the back of a dry van. It wasn't even a fucking reefer truck. It was a dry van.
No, I know that. Every
Okay.
summer there are between Tucson and Phoenix, there will be
I mean,
a rollover event of a van or something like that, where a bunch of illegal aliens will either be killed or injured because they'll blow a tire, right, going from Tucson to Phoenix, and it's sad. It's really sad. But for anybody who thinks that we have control of this border right now, we don't have control over it because they don't want control over it.
I mean, at least if you're going to try to smuggle, illegal aliens into the United States in the middle of fucking summer, at least do it in a reefer. God damn it, give them some air conditioning.
Best way to get
Jesus Christ.
the United States is with an interstellar rocket.
I mean, if you're going to smuggle them anyway, and it's in between June and August, at least put them in a reefer unit. At least have air conditioning for the motherfuckers. I mean, you're going to get arrested either way for human trafficking. At least make them comfortable.
I would say from May to October.
October.
I got to kind of feel sorry for a bunch of illegal aliens who tried to get into the United Kingdom back in the 2018, I think it was. They were found dead in a freezer truck.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you got to keep fuel in the reefer unit for it to work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but these guys had died from severe hypothermia.
Yeah.
Okay, then it was too cold. So you had to put it at about a respectable, I would say, 65.
There's a difference between refrigerated versus freezer.
Frozen.
Yep.
It was a freezer truck that climbed in the back while one of their mates distracted the driver.
Well, that was their problem. So now they're frozen. Now they're very well preserved, but quite dead.
Does it make me bad if I think migrants are cool, or is that just?
Oh no, I was thinking it too.
Okay.
I think it's a refugee pop.
Boo.
Yeah, one of them probably was called a poo.
Japanese company official detained by Chinese authorities. A senior Japanese company official in his late 50s was detained in Beijing. Not late 50s, but in his 50s, was detained in Beijing earlier this month for an alleged violation of the country's law. What, did he breathe wrong? You did not catch the COVID as you were supposed to. All right, a source familiar with Japanese or Japan-China relations said on Saturday the Japanese government has been seeking his release at an early date and trying to provide him with consular support via the Japanese embassy in Beijing, sources said. Another source said China has not offered a sufficient explanation as to what led to the detention of the Japanese company official. China has been stepping up its scrutiny of foreign organizations and individuals in the name of protecting national security, with a number of foreigners held after the introduction of a counter-espionage law in 2014 and the national security law in 2015. Since 2015, at least 16 Japanese nationals, excluding the latest case, have been detained for their alleged involvement in espionage activities. Maddie, you were going to say something?
Yeah. It wasn't because he didn't catch the COVID. It was because he got caught asking somebody if they had read a Winnie the Pooh book lately.
You have been caught in violation of serious importation of the Winnie the Pooh book.
Or as we used to call him.
We tracked him down. He said Robinson, and one too many times.
Or as we used to say when I was a kid, Winston the shit.
I do not Rook-a-Rikey the bear. Quit comparing me to a bear.
Korean accent.
Sorry. It's universal for me. I haven't listened to a Korean accent. A Chinese accent in forever.
Oh, my goodness.
Watch some reruns of Kung Fu.
I think this has more to do with the fact that Japan has decided to purchase 100 new Tomahawk missiles from us, to be honest.
Yeah, Japan's going to give it another go what they tried in the 30s.
I didn't I say that to you earlier? No, man.
You did, but I would be less worried about Japan giving it a go than China trying to give it a go for the first time in a long time.
You know, I've got a sneaky suspicion Putin is back is being friendly with China because he knows they're going to go for Taiwan.
You know,
Everybody's going to have a go at China for that, right?
Mhm.
And then Russia's going to sneak in the back door and take over China.
Now, here's my question: if they buy the Tomahawk missiles and they have the Tomahawk missiles in their, possession, are they within their legal means to rename them like Bonsai or Kamikaze or something? Because it's got to be Japanese themed.
It's worse than that, buddy. They'll militarize the technology to call them Tamagotchi missiles.
He's not wrong.
Poke missiles, because you have to catch them all.
Exactly. That'd work quite nice. No, seriously, if anything, you'll probably find that what's going on
Pokehawks.
is that Russia's actually thinking of taking over the islands just north of Japan. Yeah. So while America's concentrating on the Taiwan-China thing, they'll move in on Japan, take over the islands just north of it, and then sit there and go, these are ours now. What are you going to do, bitch?
The problem is you don't fuck with the Japanese, because we have already learned since World War II the only thing that stops the fuckers is when you nuke them into oblivion.
Yep.
This is fair.
Oh, God, I remember reading about seeing a video about those, the Japanese submarine aircraft carriers.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, what?
Japanese had built aircraft carriers that were submarines during the war.
Does anyone here see a problem with this?
Well, the Japanese did because they didn't fucking work.
They just didn't get them
shocked.
In position for their attack. They were going to make an attack on the Panama Canal.
It's also that they couldn't defend themselves.
Well, that doesn't mean it won't work as throwing planes in the air. They will throw planes in the air. They will work. They would have been able to bomb it. Now, granted, the Japanese subs are loud and we can catch them. All right, but as far as not defending themselves, well, they may have been limited in that regard. But that doesn't mean that they don't have. One of the things that is heading out right now, that's coming out, people are starting to learn, is we have it estimated in our arsenal, or approximately 65 subs or more, right? But it's around in the 70s, probably total number of subs active right now. Okay, Japan has about half that.
Yeah, but Japan's got some secret weapons that you don't.
And they also have
Godzilla, Mothra.
They have Mothra. But Japan also has the second largest surface fleet in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, now most of it is anti-submarine kind of stuff. They kind of Japan learned World War II kind of sucked.
Oh, we got blown out of existence.
Right. So
that's why they're going to make mechas.
But China is pushing Japan really heavily now. It's one of the reasons why South Korea has started to normalize relationship with Japan, right? Which is something brand new. For a long time, they have not had normalized relations.
Can you imagine though, if all these mechas and Gundams were real, and Japan had managed to convince the world that they were just like manga and anime stuff, and that's how they kept them secret.
That is what they're doing.
Yeah, in your tiny little mind.
Mm-hmm.
It would be cool though.
It would, wouldn't it?
Jensen's hoping that's true, so he can get a cat girl.
Oh my God, yes. But let's not talk about cat girls. You know, I can happily go on about them.
Just for Jensen.
How will Willow affect? It probably won't. They don't have TVs to watch it on.
They don't need them.
Come on, we were all thinking that.
All right, on to the next story.
Mm-hmm.
The Bush-era memos behind Biden's drilling decision. How will Willow affect polar bears? The Fish and Wildlife Service overlooked an important angle. What?
They're always overlooking
it's
something.
It's an ice sheet? In the winter, geese fly south. In the summer, they fly north to Arctic wetlands. Each year, tens of thousands of birds molt, breed, and honk on the shores of the, I'm not even going to attempt to butcher that name, lake, a dazzling expanse of water surrounded by ponds, streams, wetlands, and tundra.
In other words, once a year they go get jiggy with it.
Okay.
Yeah, because in the winter those Arctic wetlands are dry, stone dry.
Right. This expanse of water surrounded by ponds, streams, and tundra. In other words, frozen swamp.
Yeah.
Okay?
Dark Star, you've got some weird sexual preferences there, man. That's all I'm going to say.
Caribou come to this lake to hide from Alaska's ridiculously large mosquitoes. For a caribou, mosquito season is a technical term.
Return.
Yeah.
Polar bears, which are listed as a threatened species under the U.S. Endangered Species Act, make dens along the coast nearby. Historically, they built these homes on sea ice because they mostly eat seals, which they catch by patiently ice fishing. All right. Increasingly, they are having to move onto shore where they have less food. Does this polar bear look starving to you?
Yeah, he's practically wasting away. Look at it, just skin and bones.
All right.
Yeah, I could use some biscuits and gravy.
All right. This species, and they're saying that the species is what is it? It's the first species to be listed as threatened under the Endangered Species Act explicitly because of global warming.
Ba, ba, ba.
In other words, the population isn't going down. We haven't seen a reduction in the population, but we know it's going to affect them.
Because when all the ice melts, they'll have to swim. Bum, bum, bum.
They're just terrified the fact that polar bears are going to jump and kick their ass.
Do you know how far a polar bear can swim in an Arctic Ocean?
Yeah.
No.
Over 60 miles.
Oh, bugger. Okay.
Okay. They tracked a polar bear in the Arctic wonderland swimming over 60 miles. And that's in water that would kill a man in 15 minutes or less. These things are not going to starve, trust me. Okay? Plus the fact that the ice floes aren't there. You know where the seals have to go? On land.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just pointing this out to you. Now, they estimate that these polar bears, what they're worried about is what they call polar bear hazing. They said, according to the way they did this plan, is that they say that it's unlikely that a single polar bear will be killed, all right, but that 4 will be hazed with projectiles to scare them away, projectiles like beanbags and rubber bullets.
Okay, hold up. So this polar bear hazing concept. Personally, I say sod being the guy who's handed a paddle and told he's got to go and smack a polar bear on the ass. That is the point you realise that the rest of your people do not like you. Right there. Though then again, if he does it, can you imagine exactly how much rep he has?
Shooting a polar bear with a beanbag is likely to go, what was that?
Yeah.
What,
yeah,
you
that's
really
true.
Shot me with a, oh no, you're road patty wheel, right? And who the hell came up with the idea that you'd shoot it with a beanbag?
Yeah.
Now you might fire in the air to get its attention, and it might run away because of a big loud bang stick noise, right? But
Or
a
it may run
beanbag
at you
will
and
just
kill you.
piss it off.
Yep.
Tells it which direction you're in.
And I'll tell you something else about polar bears. They're not particular about who they mate with, because they've been mating with grizzlies.
Yeah.
And it's viable offspring.
Mm-hmm.
These things are dangerous. I would love to take this person who wrote this story and put her in the Arctic for a while, just to let her see how lush and wonderful it is.
Mm-hmm.
No, thank you.
You know, I think all these eco-terrorists that you see, personally, I would just here's your one-way ticket to Alaska. We're gonna drop you naked in the middle of this forest. Live off the land.
Yep.
Have fun.
Hell,
Where's
survive
the
3
Starbucks?
days.
Where's the Starbucks? Would be their first fucking question.
Yep.
No, the next
And they'll
question
want to know where they can plug in their phone.
Yeah, but their next question will be, "What's that?"
That's their last question.
Then their last question would be, "Ooh, can I go pet that teddy bear?"
Yes, you can.
Go ahead, honey.
That
That teddy
looks-
bear
that-
loves to
that
hug
looks-
people. You go on ahead.
That looks cute.
Yeah.
Even I'm not that stupid. I mean, wow. Remember, I look at tigers and go, "Oh, cute, any kitty."
Yeah.
Yeah, when they're small, when they're born, they're cute.
Dude, I'd do that to an old, savage, psychotic killing machine tiger. I'd still call it cute. But even I would be iffy around polar bears. I know how scary those buggers are. And how big they are. And that is awesome. That is
fight between a
awesome.
polar bear and a big cat would be interesting. Because they both have very thick hides, right? To a point, right? Now polar bears don't have the big canines, but their bite force is equivalent. Number one, and their claws are much larger. They're a much heavier animal. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, a
I
polar
hate
bear
to say it, but
full grown is about 700 pounds, 800 pounds. That dwarfs a 350-pound tiger.
Yeah. I would personally say that the polar bear should win, just purely because of its toughness. Though, if the tiger gets lucky, that bear is basically skinned and eaten. Let's be honest.
Speed is the big advantage that the tiger
has.
Right. Alligators. Yes, Florida alligator eating another alligator is captured by a photographer.
Mm-hmm.
If you see something like this going on, you're in the wrong place.
If you see something like this going on, you take a picture of it, you open a journal, and you title the top of the page, "Signs of the Apocalypse." You slap it in the thing, you shut your journal, and you get the fuck out of Dodge. That's exactly what you do in this particular instance.
You know why the gator chomped on the other one? He wouldn't share his crack. That's the problem. Everyone knows. They're all crap gator. Yeah, man.
The alligator eating another alligator became a sight to see at an Orlando Wetlands Park in Florida. The photographer Barbara D'Angelo shot the 2-minute massacre, which left the victim dead. No shit. Really?
Really? You call it a massacre? See, look, hey, you people, if you need an editor, I'm right here.
Right? I watched this gator. I watched as this gator had his prey in his mouth and slammed the remaining body and tail like a whip. He did it at least 3 times. That's what they do. Right? The victim was folded into thirds. If you can see the gator's eyes clearly, he had his eye on me the whole time. Because he was looking at you going, "Hey, bitch! You're next!"
Yeah.
If you're dumb enough to stick around, you're going to the tummy.
You hit the other alligator 3 times, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Like, get in my belly.
Yeah, the alligator 3, so it's womp womp. Oh, it's still moving. Womp. Okay, now I can move.
Get in my belly. Get in my belly.
It's a circle of life, bitches.
You are so right there, hon. People got this strange idea that nature is beautiful, nature is lovely, nature is fluffy. No. You want to talk fluffy creatures, you can look back at the polar bear and then you look at exactly how dangerous that is. You want to talk fluffy, you look at the tiger and you see how dangerous it is. You go to the wolf. I mean, to be honest, you go to most creatures in nature and they're incredibly fluffy and will kick your ass. Nature is not nice. Nature is a bitch. No, we're not on the hippos yet. That one's the last. We're currently on the alligators.
Oh, here we go. The ninja hippo.
Yeah, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to present to you the first ever ninja hippo.
awesome. I love that creature.
Hippo sneaks up
Seen this
on
many
lions.
times on wildlife documentary programs in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
Hippo sneaks up on lions at a South African dam. A pride of lions, all right, drinks from a dam in the Kapuma, Kapama. That must be what it is.
Yeah. Okay.
Kapama
African.
Game Reserve in South Africa as a hippo
MC.
approaches.
MC, repeat after me. Cappy something African. There. That's how you pronounce that.
Kappa something African. Okay.
We are full of listening to MC trying to pronounce foreign words.
All right.
That's
so
why people come along.
This is an entire pride of lions, folks. These things
But see,
take
this
out some of the. Go ahead.
hippos we know are entirely territorial, which means this is the ultimate act of get the fuck out of my yard, bitches.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but this is an entire pride of lions. This isn't one or two.
It don't care.
Or one stranded.
It
No, this
gives
is an
no
entire
fucks.
pride. Watch this thing. Dun, 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 dun. And the lions are like, okay, time to go. Right? They don't even try and stand their ground.
Do you blame them?
No.
Their combined weight is probably the same as that one hippo.
Yep.
And that hippo was like, oh no, I can go on land too, motherfucker.
Yeah. Yeah.
You gotta. I mean,
Yep.
hippos are cool looking. They're neat creatures, and I don't want to be anywhere near them.
They're cute from afar. I don't know.
Again, this is
From
proving my
afar.
point about nature and how cute and fluffy it is.
From a
See,
distance.
everything now, Justin, everything is cute and fluffy from afar. See,
Yeah.
that's the operative phrase here.
Oh
No.
Hippos
It's
are
more.
not
It's more like, are these bitches drinking water out of my river? Oh, I don't think so. This is my river, motherfucker. Get
Yeah.
out! Are you
You better
still in
start
my
running.
yard? Get the hell out of my yard!
Yeah, but you notice the lions didn't flee. They tried to run away and preserve dignity.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were like, okay, we'll stop here. Is it really coming out? It's out of the water. It's out of the water.
Yep. It's out of the water. Damn it!
It's
Yeah.
gone.
Meanwhile, the hippo's like, I know y'all ain't drinking water in my yard. Get the hell out my yard. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's a cowboy hippo, right?
I will
Hippos are
sit on all
responsible for
y'all.
More human fatalities in Africa than any other large animal, including lions. They may seem docile when lunging in the water, but they are incredibly aggressive. And if they feel their territory or water source is threatened, though, if they just look up at you and go, okay, you're a road petty.
Yeah.
It's just that simple.
They're
Okay?
territorial, which
still
means don't
love
get in their
South
yard.
It's like the ones
I
in
just
Venezuela
love
where they're
that.
trying to go, how shit, we got 150 of these damn things. They're breeding like freaking. They're breeding out of control. How do we fix this?
Hippo
It's
steaks.
a horrifying thought. Hippo bunnies.
No, thank you.
Leap squish. Leap squish.
At least with a Vorpal bunny, you have a couple of seconds of, oh, it's so cute. But,
Yeah,
It's
then
all right,
the
so
bunny goes back in the cage, right? And then you'll have some dummy, hiding behind a rock going, I soiled me armor.
They also swallow children whole. Yeah, they can. They can
Yeah,
swallow a
yeah.
freaking small woman whole. So the larger
Yeah,
one.
they-
Do not
these things are
throw
dangerous.
Chirati into a hippo's mouth. I know you're
Which-
thinking it, Oz. I know you're considering it. Don't do it. That's not fair to the boy hippo.
Which is why I will admire a hippo from a distance.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember the last time somebody annoyed Chirati, she told them to put down their weapons and they have 2 seconds to comply. Then, okay, I'll put the gun down. 1 second to comply.
Comply.
Wait, what?
Yep.
Chirati 209.
She will kick your ass for that, but yeah.
She'll rust by the time she walks across the ocean.
Until you find out she got implanted flotation devices on her feet, then you're in trouble.
Just
Now,
not her off her feet.
There are other things because let's pull this up. You got a little baby.
Don't tell me she's actually a member of the yacht club.
Oh, this is a baby hippo. Look at this thing. I hate to say it, but it kind of looks like a turd.
Everything baby size except for human infants are cute.
This looks like a turd. I don't know how you can call that cute. All right, it looks like a turd.
It does not look like a turd.
No, I've got to go with Nomad here.
Oh.
It looks like somebody modelled it out of a turd.
Chocolate. They made a chocolate hippo.
Down the next picture.
They made a chocolate hippo. I'm standing by it. The chocolate hippo.
Nomad.
And they made it out of Swiss chocolate because Hershey's can go fuck off.
Oh yeah. We found a spider. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What the hell's that about?
Yeah, so you see how he's not scrolling down so we can see the spider thingy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because
he's a spider
folk.
folk.
There, that. Down.
Oh, yard
signs.
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 Yeah.
Okay.
Well, what do you want me to scroll down to see here?
We found a spider sign.
It looks like it's on the front of a cinema.
Well, we clicked on it, and then we got 3 dangerous food for dogs.
To view them on a screen.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the spiders out here. We got brown recluse. We got tarantulas.
Us just put in the chat, you're safe, she won't go near the ocean.
Yep.
What was
Safety.
Yes, yeah.
Shirati.
Can she, hold on, Oz, can she tunnel?
That's your problem.
Oh my goodness me.
Whoa.
What are you guys getting doing to my chat now?
Oh yeah.
I'm not doing
We
anything.
always interact with the chat. It's great fun.
It's not your chat, it's our chat. It just happens to be on your channel, that's all.
I'm not doing anything.
Always
all right.
claiming.
Anyway, that was the last story. Hope you all had a good time. I'm going to go ahead and shut this down. Better speak fast, Batman, because I'm just shutting it down. Good luck, everybody.
Yeah, fuck off, you lot. It's over.
Bye bye.
And
Like I said, fuck